Hey everyone, welcome back to Owlchemist Tarot, serving tarot straight up. So this is going to be your general weekly reading for the 18th through the 24th. And we have Mercury starting to move back into direct motion. It's going to go through its shadow phase. I believe Jupiter also is going to be going direct. That does not mean it's going to be smooth sailing. There can be some bumpy rides still ahead. So if you are new to my channel, go ahead and subscribe so you know when new videos go live. And if you're a return sub, we appreciate it. So this is just going to be general. And I've already cleansed and shuffled pretty extensively. And what I mean by that is that anytime before I do a video or even a client reading, I will cleanse my space, cleanse myself, my cards. I will meditate and then to ground myself, to center myself. And then I will go ahead and start to shuffle. And I shuffle until Spirit tells me to stop. So sometimes that's 3 minutes, 5 minutes, 10 minutes. So I typically don't do a ton of shuffling on camera because I know a lot of you are like, I don't want to see that 5 minutes of just her shuffling. So I'm just going to shuffle a few more times. Okay. Let's see. Okay. All right, let's see what we got. Okay. And then, all right. Okay, so out of the gate, this is a week not to second guess yourself. And I'm sorry, but one of the cards you can't see, it's on my table isn't, my table's long, not wide. So you can't see all the cards, but I'll show them to you. So overall, the death cards, we got some big transformation this week. I think for a lot of you, this is internal transformation. I think for many of you, this is coming to terms where you need to take more control of yourself, control of your life, your thoughts, your behaviors. And I mean, I know that that's kind of like no shit, but you know, this is not allowing other people to determine your outcome, okay? So, because it's easy to kind of like hear no evil, see no evil, speak no evil, and then all of a sudden things just happen to you, but really you're not taking an active role. The death card is significant in the sense that there is a transformation needed if you're not going through it already, and a decision that needs to be made so you can start to, you know, go through the path you need to and start to move forward. Now, this can be cutting ties with certain people, ways of thinking, believing. Maybe you are looking to, you know, start fresh and you're having to kind of see like what you need to cut out, what you need to cut off. That could be people, places, or things. But the death card, this is truly a transformative type of energy. Yes, for a very, very, very tiny, small portion of you, certainly there could be somebody who's transitioning, you know, but I'm not getting that really for how the cards have fallen out. So really this is you taking more of a power position and a leadership role and saying, I'm not going to allow other people to make decisions for me. I'm going to be making these necessary changes. And this is not running away from fear. This is not letting your ego make choices for you. You're really looking and saying, look, this doesn't serve me anymore. I need to cut it out, okay? Because if you pretend that something is not bothering you or things aren't improving, you're only just going to let it continue to fester, and then you really have no one else to blame but yourself, okay? Out of the gate this week when it comes to money, finances, 3 of Wands in reverse, I'd say this is probably not the week to be making tons of purchases. I would say hold off on travel because this also can indicate the travel card. I don't know if you have seen, I live in Colorado. I saw on the news how many travelers and the holdups and the delays with even at the Denver airport, and it was madness. So I'm sure it's very similar in a lot of large metropolitan and international airports. What I tell you, there's going to be lots of delays. There's going to be frustration, probably lack of rental cars, things like that. Things are a little bit more expensive. So if you're looking to put money down on any type of travel this week, I would say hold off because you're going to be paying a lot more than you intended. This also can mean that things that you thought were going to start to come in and manifest, or could be delays, meaning that maybe there's not the return on investment that you've seen so far. It's slowly and surely happening, but not to like the degree that you thought. This can also mean expenses that could be coming in kind of out of the blue, weren't expected. Now, that can certainly still be because, you know, we have this Mercury retrograde still. And again, even though it's going to go direct, starting to make that direct motion out, you know, I think it's on the 18th, which is Monday. But that still means it's going through its shadow phase. So again, you still kind of want to hold off if you can. This is not the time to spend frivolously. This week, there's just too much going on. There's too much, the energy is almost like it's like agitation. So it's like any money you think is going to be well spent this week, I think you're going to get a different experience. Spirit is saying that if you're going to the store, like if you're, you know, and this is, I'm sure a lot of you have seen the shortages and things like that, buy things that you need, buy, you know, things that you are not going to go through, that, you know, kind of be smart. Like if you're going to spend money, spend it on things that can last you a while. Just kind of think about that. Career, you got Queen of Wands, which, you know, this is always kind of a little conflicting energy when you have this reversal, this Three of Wands reverse, but you have the Queen of Wands in the upright. I feel like, though, even though this week money may be a little bit more turbulent, I will say business and career, a lot of you are stepping into your own. And again, this could just be because of this death energy where you're starting to see like you need to take more assertiveness and charge forward. Queen of Wands is very creative, strong business acumen. For a lot of you, if you might be thinking about possibly launching a business or starting something, a hobby that you're now starting to take a little bit more seriously. You know, you have to treat it like a business, okay? So this is not, you know, this is like really starting to research and look into marketing and advertising. How can you sell your product, your service, and stand out from the crowd? I feel like the landscape that you're in, a lot of you are kind of conflicted because it's oversaturated. I mean, what market isn't these days? So this is really taking some time, and hopefully you've been doing this to kind of figure out what does make you stand apart. For some of you, you might be kind of holding back on what you currently are doing and pumping the brakes on something so you can create something new, like a new product or service offering. They keep saying ebooks, but again, I know that that's a super oversaturated. It's like a lot of people are doing ebooks right now. But a published piece of work, it could be something that you're creating or doing. The Queen of Wands has, it's almost like the silver tongue, you know, can really sell ice to an Eskimo. And I'm sorry, I know that that's probably not the best metaphor, and I apologize. Hopefully I didn't insult anybody. But you just have a way with words. The Queen of Wands is almost like the ultimate salesman. She or he can just sell anything to anyone. So I would say if this is kind of, if you feel really confident in yourself, this is a time to kind of pursue that. Don't be scared to kind of put yourself out there, because you really might charm the pants off people. Now, when it comes to love, this is not an easy energy to get. Not at all. The Devil card, so the Devil energy, it's two-folded here. Let's break it into singles and you know, couples. If you are in a relationship, okay, married, long-term spouse or partner, whatever the case is, dating somebody and you're serious, this, for some of you, you're not trusting your partner. It's almost like there's a jealousy, there's a streak of like lack of trust in the relationship. The Devil card can be very much a rough energy to go through, because it's almost like you feel bound to something. There could be some lies and deceit that's going on that you have been holding inside and not sharing with your partner. That doesn't mean it's like worst case scenario, but for some of you, even a little small white lie can turn into something big, primarily because when your partner finds out, they're going to think, well, if you can lie about small things, you can lie about big things. So if something has power over you, you know, it's especially in a relationship, you need to address it head on, okay? Now, for some of you, you could be in a relationship where it's very turbulent, meaning that you're looking at maybe ending this relationship because there's too much control, too much power. It's very one-sided. Somebody could be very obsessive, could be, you know, and if anyone's going through this, please seek the proper help and guidance. But even abusing alcohol and drugs, you know, that does pull this energy. And because you have the Death card here, again, a lot of you are looking at things that you are probably going to cut or need to cut out of your life to really start fresh. And please understand, if you're going through this, you know, there's a lot of resources and help and support. You don't have to go through it alone, but be careful and just be smart. If you are single, somebody could certainly catch your eye, but I'm going to tell you that it's almost like something that has extreme chemistry and has like a fast burn ends just as quickly as it ignites. So if you're single and you're dating, yeah, you could meet somebody that really does like spark that passion within you and you're like, oh my gosh, you're starting to move really quickly. I would say pump the brakes and really get to know this person, because you might just be sold on the facade, the surface, the outer layer. You don't know what this person's about. You don't know how they act when they're angry or they're sad or they're depressed or when they're broke or pissed off. You really need to know somebody in and out before you really take that serious step. So if you are single and dating, if you feel like you're starting to go down a really serious path very quickly, you know, be the emotionally mature, you know, and intelligent adult and say, hey, I really would like to figure, you know, and learn about you more and take this slow and see where it goes, rather than just jumping head first, because I feel like if you do, you're going to get burned on this one, okay? Overall communication, I would say the Five of Swords in reverse is not a bad card to get. I think this is all about keeping a filter on this week. And that's been pretty consistent, even especially with this Mercury retrograde. This is realizing that just because you can say something doesn't mean you should. Just because you can do something doesn't mean you should. The Five of Swords, you know, in the upright, this can certainly mean like a empty victory, you know, saying something, doing something that really can be cutting. And yeah, you'll get the upper hand, but at what cost? Is it really worth it? Are you going to be okay with yourself that you know that you said that, you know that you hurt that person on purpose, and you know, you're fine? Some people are okay with that. Some people, it's like going to sting you. So what I would tell you, before you get pulled into drama, before you get pulled in, I do feel like for a lot of you with this Death card, this is certainly could be a test this week to say, look, you know, if you find yourself getting pulled into drama, or you find yourself getting really like in a tizzy or irritated about even the smallest things, is it worth it? Is it worth the drain on the energy? Is it worth having, you know, the last word? You know, and ultimately, is it going to serve you in your best interest and at your highest vibration? A lot of times the answer is no. It feels great in the moment, but it might not feel good afterwards. So, and I feel like there's always, and you don't need cards to know this, but every single time you make a choice, you have a consequence, right? So good, bad, or indifferent. I really feel like this is a test for a lot of you not to get sucked in and to take the higher road, even when it's hard to, even when your ego is like, I really would rather just punch air, or this person is just on dry humping my last nerve. And they might be, but ultimately, if you can walk away and take the higher road this week, it is going to serve you a lot better, because for many of you, that's like the last little hill obstacle. Because if you are easily manipulated, or if you're easily triggered by something, you can be easily manipulated. And I know for a lot of you, you're like, that's never going to happen. So this is about controlling your thoughts, your emotions, and what actions you're going to take, okay? So, you know, again, this week is pretty intense. I know it's like, but I do think for a lot of us, it's kind of like the last lessons and bits and information and things that we need to be aware of before we start to move, you know, and have Mercury back into its direct motion, and Jupiter will be direct. Now, I'm not saying that it's going to be, you know, apple pie and easy. There's going to be quite a bit of rough energy still, but I think for a lot of us, it's like the last thing we need to go through to really have it stick so we don't repeat some patterns that we've been, you know, unfortunately probably going through. So I'm going to quickly do a round of zodiacs. And I'm going to go ahead and start with Scorpio and end on Libra, even though we're still in Libra season, but Scorpio is coming fast and furious. So we'll do one round. So again, I would recommend watching your sun, moon, and rising just because you can get a better snippet of what you might be going through, okay? So, Scorpio, Three of Pentacles. This week, you don't have to go at it alone, Scorpio, okay? So first and foremost, leverage the people in your life who you trust and who you know if they say something or do something, they're stand by it. Their word is their bond. Your partnerships this week are going to be important for you to start to move forward and progress in what you're trying to accomplish. Teamwork makes the dream work, Scorpio. You do not have to do it alone. That doesn't mean you have to divulge every single detail, but you do need to let people help you this week. Raise your hand if you need help. That's not a sign of weakness. It really shows more strength, okay? So Scorpio, this week, teamwork, people in your life, partnerships are really going to help you. Let me, here, probably accelerate a little bit and get further. So Sagittarius, let's see with you. 8 of Swords, okay, Sag? Sag, this is not the week to get in your head, blinded, trying to just, this is, Sag, for a fire sign, you think a lot. You get in your head quite a bit, and you start to spiral into kind of the point of no return. This is not the week to turn a blind eye to anything. Because if you do not have a grasp on yourself and what's happening in your life, things are going to be decided and things are going to move in a direction that I don't think you're necessarily going to be happy with in the long run. Really be present this week, Sagittarius. Don't let anybody, you know, try to manipulate you, try to control you, try to put words in your mouth. You really need to be present this week and be very proactive, okay? Capricorn. Sorry, I forgot what sign I was on. Capricorn, 6 of Cups. Capricorn, this is not going to be the easiest for you because you're a very hard worker. You're all work, little play, especially when you're focused on something. That doesn't mean you don't know how to play, but this week's Capricorn, I think you deserve a little bit of a break. 6 of Cups can be reminding yourself to have fun, reminding yourself that you need to add balance and that you should have time to yourself and go out to eat with friends. You know, give yourself a little bit of like special treatment, Capricorn. You always work so hard. The 6 of Cups is being around, you know, like-minded people who, you know, can kind of get you in a good time and in a better mood and like relax you, and it's not all work. It's, you know, enjoy life a little bit, okay, Capricorn? This week, you've earned it. You've worked really, really hard. You don't have to be nose to the grindstone 24/7. Take a break. Enjoy yourself, okay? Aquarius. Aquarius, you got the Temperance card, Aquarius. This is the time this week. Balance is key. But I really feel like it's more mental and physical balance, meaning that this is the week to really start to get into a routine of like meditating, quiet time, taking time out of the day, whatever time of day makes the best sense for you, to quiet and relax your mind and recharge. It's so crucial for you, Aquarius, is to recharge your batteries by yourself. You need that, but also include some physical activity. It doesn't have to mean that you're training for a marathon, unless you are, but it can be, it doesn't have to be strenuous or you know, high intensity if that's not what you're looking to do. It can be going out and, you know, working in your yard, going on a little walk, yoga. It could be going on a hike. It could be cleaning the house. Whatever gives you a little bit of physical activity and like you just turn your mind off, that's really crucial this week is that you need to kind of disconnect a little bit and ground yourself, Aquarius, okay? It's going to really serve you well. Pisces. Pisces, you got 10 of Wands. Coming to a massive ending, Pisces, you know, you carry sometimes a lot of karmic weight, not always your own. This doesn't surprise me that this card came out. What I'm going to tell you is that other people's emotions, other people's crap that you've been probably, whether knowingly or unknowingly taking on, you need to let it go. You need to let other people do their own work. Even though you have such a big heart and you feel so deeply and you don't want people to feel like they're alone and to go throughout life, you know, without any support. I always admire that about you, Pisces, but you do need to start to unload other people's stuff. Why? Because it's their lessons that they need to go through, and it's not for you to do for them, okay? So really look at what you're carrying and what you need to let go of. Again, this week is really big with that death card, that transformation, cutting things that don't serve you to lighten the weight so you can enter into 2022 with, you know, again, more opportunity and things that can come in your life. So Aries, 9 of Cups, Aries, great card to get, always, always. Happy Merchant, the Wish card. You know, Aries, this could certainly be the week where you are cutting loose a little bit. You might be having a little bit more fun meeting up with people. I think some things that and decisions you've been waiting on, Aries, you're going to start to maybe get some answers or at least the green light that things are starting to move forward. There's movement at least, and you know, there's nothing worse for an Aries to be stagnant. So I feel like for you, things are starting to transition and move forward. At one point, you know, here's what I will tell you, Aries. I do feel like you're going to there's going to be communication, or there's going to be some type of, whether it's like an email or a phone call, probably long distance, of more information and that you'll have in your back pocket. It's like you might be collecting more details and information this week that will help you start to move forward, okay? Taurus, 5 of Swords. Now this came out in the weekly general. So Taurus, I love Taurus. I have Taurus in my chart. I have a lot of Tauruses in my family. Taurus, we all know sometimes that you can be very, very strong-willed and sharp-tongued, meaning that it's your way sometimes or no one else's way. I'm certainly guilty of that. This week, Taurus, this would not be the week to fly off the handle. This would not be the week to say something that you could regret later on. If you start getting very frustrated or irritated by a situation, maybe you're not in charge, or you have to share leadership or decision-making skills this week, Taurus, this is not the time to just let everything you've been holding in out, okay? Because you will regret it. And again, it could just be a heat of the moment, but you need to have more self-control. I'm saying that because you're a fixed sign, and it's easy to dig your heels in. This is not the week to do that. Just be really careful. Keep that filter on. If you feel yourself getting irritated, walk away and calm down, okay? Gemini, you got 2 of Wands, a decision to make. You know, Gemini, I feel like the thing is that you need to calm yourself this week a little bit. You're obviously known for kind of buzzing around and being all over the place, bouncing around from idea to idea to activity to friend, whatever. There's a decision, and you really do need to take some time by yourself to figure out what is going to be the path of least resistance to your goals. 2 of Wands, again, can be a little bit at a crossroads. And you know what I'm going to tell you, Gemini, is to trust yourself, because either opportunity, it's going to have, if you can see that there's little leaves here, it's almost like there's options and opportunities and growth either path you go down. You just really have to ask yourself the pros and cons on what's going to make the most sense for you, you know, in the long run. You don't have to have all the answers, but you need to also follow and trust your gut. But ultimately, Gemini, you can ask 1,000 different people. You still have to make the decision, okay? So just FYI. Cancer, you have the King of Pentacles. Cancer, really focusing on that money this week. stepping into your power, kind of looking more long-term, really trying to create more stability, especially in the home. Maybe there's some things like getting finances and everything, you know, with family kind of more settled. I'm saying that, Cancer, because obviously your sign rules the home and the hearth, if you will. But also, you're just making sure that you're kind of, you know, I feel like there's a lot of nesting with Cancer right now. Maybe you're looking at, you know, thinking ahead financially for some of you. You know, you've been kind of paying things off here and there, and you're starting to clear out like debt and get more, you know, stable, so that way you can kind of breathe and you have a little bit less anxiety and weight on your shoulders, okay? Leo, Four of Swords. Leo, you know, this week, you might feel the need or the desire to kind of take a little bit of downtime. You might be feeling a little bit more tired. You know, the Four of Swords is all about rest and recuperation. Mentally, take some breaks, you know. We can all be guilty about being in front of our computer or phones too long or whatever the case is. Turn it off, disconnect. It can do wonders. It kind of helps you decompress and look at things in a completely different light, especially if it's work related, especially if it's relationship related. And, you know, maybe before you respond or react or whatever the case is, take some time and think about it. Really reread that email 2 or 3 times before you send it to that coworker who's just, again, maybe annoying the living crap out of you. But this is the week to listen to your body. Listen, and if you're feeling tired, if you need a nap, take one. If you need to, you know, slow down a little bit, maybe not go on your 5-mile run, listen to your body. Listen, because if you push it and overexert yourself, you know, you could, I just feel like it's going to do more harm than good this week, okay? Virgo. I almost forgot what sign I was on. Virgo, 4 of Wands. Interesting, we got 4 of Swords and 4 of Wands. Well, 4 of Wands, Virgo, looks like the home is really happy and thriving. Relationships look good this week. I really feel like if you haven't already, and Virgo, I mean, my God, you guys already have the house cleaned out, purged, gotten everything organized back into storage, gotten all the fall attire, the Halloween or Samhain, whatever you celebrate, out, decorated to the nines. A lot of you are very organized per usual, because Virgo is already a very organized sign. But I think for a lot of you, your relationships in your home, you've been really putting a lot of thought and attention, and celebrate. So again, your home is kind of like your sanctuary. So this week, enjoy with other people that you care about and you love. Like, have a good time. Open your home up to the people that you care about most. It's really going to give you a lot back in return, okay? So Libra, last but not least, our lovely Libra. 6 of Wands, Libra, great card to end on. 6 of Wands is feeling very victorious, feeling like a winner, celebratory. You know, Libra, you really do strive to keep things balanced through any part of your life. And it's not always realistic, but for a lot of you, do strive to keep the balance and keep things, you know, not swinging too far to the left or the right. Libra, I feel like this is work more than anything. You're really completing a milestone. This could be a promotion, or you could be recognized for a lot of the hard work you've been putting in. It's like after hours, you've been putting a lot of work in. And people, even in your personal life, are going to see you recognized, and maybe you're going to get an accolade, or you're, you know, an award, or whatever the case is. But, and some of you, it could be retirement too, that you're kind of like ending on this really great note, and like just, it's wonderful all around. But for many of you, this feels really professional, work related. And if that is the case, take your moment to shine. Don't be so modest, Libra, because in this case, you really, really deserve it, okay? So I hope you guys have a wonderful week. Please let me know in the comments if this makes sense to you and your sign, or just the general message overall. If you don't follow me on TikTok and Instagram, do so, because I post there quite a bit too. And I will see you next week.